Hello students, now I am going to explain the selection sort technique. My The execution of the program starts from the main function. As soon as I enter the main function, I have declared few local variables, an array A, min, n represents the number of elements inside the array, j and I act as the loop control variable, and a variable temp which will be used while swapping of two numbers. I ask to enter the array size. The user inputs from the keyboard and it is read and stored inside the variable n. Later I will ask to enter the elements inside the array. Here I am running a for loop. The loop control variable I is initialized to 0. I check for the condition I less than n, 0 less than the number of elements I have entered. If it is true, I enter the for loop. I read one element and store it inside a of 0. After storing it, I go and increment my I. My I was previously 0, now it will be 1. I check for the condition 1 less than n. If this condition is true, I again enter and read the second element. This process iterates until the condition I less than n becomes false. So once this condition becomes false, the flow of control will come out of the for loop and execute the next line. In the next line, I am printing the array elements before sorting technique OR. Again, I am using a for loop to print the red array elements and print them. After printing the unsorted array, now I move on towards the main sorting technique. Here we first find the smallest item in the array and we exchange it with the first item. Obtain the second smallest element in the array and exchange it with the second element, and so on. Finally, all the items will be arranged in ascending order. Since the next last item is selected and exchanged appropriately so that elements are finally sorted. Thus, we call this as a selection sort technique. Let me move on towards the logic and explain. For I is equals to 0, my loop control variable I is initialized to 0. I check for the condition I less than n. If the condition is true, I enter the loop. The value of I is assigned to a variable min. The value of min is 0 now. I again enter one more nested for loop where the value of j is initialized to I plus 1. Now the value of I is 0, so 0 plus 1, 1 will be assigned to j. I check for the condition j less than n. If this condition is true, I enter the second for loop. As soon as I enter the second for loop, I compare a of j. A of j is a of 1 is less than a of min. The value of min is 0, so I am comparing a of 1 less than a of 0. If this is true, I swap a of j with a of min. Go back, increment the value of j. J was previously 1. Now after incrementation, the value of j will be 2. J 2 less than n. If this condition is true, again I come inside the nested for loop, second for loop, and check for the condition if a of j is less than a of min. Now the value of j is 2, hence a of 2 less than a of min. The min value is still 0, so a of 0. So once this comparison is true, I swap a of j with a of min, a of 0. So this happens for each value of I iterate j from I plus 1 till n. I make the comparisons, swap them. So at the end of iterating, completing the iteration for the jth loop and ith loop, my array will be in a sorted order. So once the array is in sorted order, I print it with the help of a for loop. For I is equals to 0, I less than n, I plus plus. I print a of I here inside the for loop. So let me run this program and show you how the output works. Enter the array size 10. I'm giving the worst case for as an input. The input is in descending order. Now I have gave the input. I have entered 10 elements in descending order. So once I hit the enter, first the unsorted array is printed 100, 90, 80, 70, 60, 50, 40, 30, 20 and 10. So after the logic is executed, my array will be in sorted order. Let me check the output. That is 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90 and 100. My array is in sorted order. This is how the sorting technique works. I hope you have understood this sorting technique. Thank you.